I was recently invited to have a conversation with the Scribe Lounge. It was a lunchtime Ask Me Anything session. And one question that came up and has been coming up again and again is writers wondering if they should have an agent, writers who have an agent wondering if it's still worth it, and writers who have an agent but seem to generate a lot of their own work themselves, wondering, should I keep the two things going or should I ditch one track and use another track in order to land jobs? This is the advice that I gave. Do all the above. It's always helpful to have more than one person rooting for you and saying good things about your work in rooms that you're not in. If you don't have an agent, as a former commissioner, I would say that you don't necessarily need one. Most broadcasters are looking for the best possible project, the best possible idea to come across their desk. And if you're somebody that doesn't have an agent, isn't attached to a production company, doesn't have anything else to help get the idea made, should they greenlight it, then the commissioning team will most likely help pair you up with a team that can provide the infrastructure, who can provide the production, the crew, the business affairs, which is the lawyers and everything that you need in order to get your show made. So you can be an individual freelancer who is just sitting on a brilliant idea and get it in front of a commissioner. That's if you have a way of getting to them, if you have contacts that can access a broadcaster or a commissioner. That's the way to go about things when you are just a jobbing freelance writer. If you're a writer that has an agent, then brilliant. That agent, probably the reason you pick them is because they have good relationships, they can get into rooms, they can speak very eloquently about the work that you're producing, about who you're trying to be in the industry, and that is the traditional route for getting you past the gatekeepers, which is the agents leveraging their relationship with broadcasters and commissioners to get your work in front of people. That's perfect. What I will say though is, because of the industry slowdown that's happening at the moment, you probably haven't heard from your agent for a while. And it's probably not just that they're ghosting you, they probably just haven't been in touch because there's nothing new to tell you. I would say that rather than sitting around and thinking the worst about what's really going on, or even worse, turning the lack of communication, the lack of conversation, the lack of check-in on yourself, thinking, oh God, it's because I'm no good, it's because my ideas are no good, they just don't have the heart to tell me it's terrible. Instead of doing all of that, I would say, if you haven't heard from your agent for a while, or if your agent hasn't been in touch to offer you anything new for a while, go and grab a coffee with them, either virtually if you don't live in the same town, or in person, and just kind of say, look, I've been feeling the anxiety of not getting any feedback or not hearing any news. I wonder if you're feeling some anxiety about the people that you're usually in touch with not getting back in touch with you. Is that what's going on? Has what's been happening in the industry, has that been affecting you and your company as well? I'm assuming that's the reason why you haven't been in touch, and just have that really honest conversation with your agent so that you come away with a bit of a game plan. Look, I'm so sorry I haven't been in touch. I've been busy in these other ways. Or actually, you're right. I have been shy to circle back to people because I know that money and slots are kind of scarce. But now that we've had this meeting, let me do another round. Let me get back to everyone who hasn't responded yet, and then I'll give you an update. It just means that you leave that meeting with your agent with fresh energy, fresh impetus, and a new plan as to how you're going to move forward. If they honestly say to you, listen, nobody is getting back to me, there's nothing out there, then great, you've got somebody in your corner as you wait it out. You as a writer, though, don't get to sit and rest on your laurels while you're waiting it out. That's the time to hone everything that you've been pitching out there. That's the time to go back and tinker. That's the time to start that new shiny thing that's caught your eye and is making you feel excited and wanting to work on something new so you stay in the game. You never stop writing. But if you and your agent have decided that to take a more thoughtful, slower approach is the best way forward, then brilliant. Agree on that and work accordingly. For those of you who have an agent who doesn't seem to be generating any work for you, and even worse, you've been generating a lot of your most recent gigs for yourself, and still having to pay the 10% or feeling bad that you're not paying the 10%, then it's probably time for you to have a really honest conversation with your agent and just say, look, I haven't heard from you, you haven't heard from me. I take it that your lack of contact means that there's nothing new to share. I'm confident enough in the work that I've generated for myself lately to keep on generating that work. Maybe we have a bit of a break clause. I'll go away for 6 to 9 months and keep hammering away at the contacts that I've been able to make and the opportunities that I've been able to broker for myself. And if that feels like I'm in a natural flow and it's coming through on a regular basis, then maybe I go forward without an agent. However, if after 3, 6, 9 months, I feel like, my God, nothing's really moving, it wasn't the agent's fault, or it wasn't the lack of action from my agent, it's just the state that the industry is in, maybe I hang on and keep working with this agent to see when things open up, what new opportunities could be there, then do that. There really isn't a right or wrong way. You can be unagented and figure out a way to get your brilliant idea in the right hands, whether that's making production partners, whether that's entering writing competitions, whether that's going to events and trying to pass your card, your first 10 pages, your anything to people as they're coming off the stage. Whatever you've got to do under networking circumstances or within communities like the Scribe Lounge, do that. That's for the people with no agent. The people with an agent who aren't hearing anything back, have that honest coffee, have that new strategy call. What are we going to do moving forward? Is there anyone we need to pick back up on? Go back and nudge, go back and pester. Let's do that. Let's gather again to figure out what the feedback is that we're getting out there. At no stage do you start thinking they're not getting in touch because I'm no good and my work is no good. They wouldn't have signed you if there was a chance of that. So I think you have to really always look outward, look at what the industry is doing, look at what's not moving. Don't forget, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of out of work writers and freelancers right now, and there are only tens of slots. So broadcasters don't have a ton of optimistic news to share out there, and that's probably why your agent has got nothing to email you about, because there is nothing new to share. Anyone who has an agent but feels like they've been self-reliant and they've been self-generating a lot of the work across the last year or so, really examine whether it's worth it. Has that person been your champion in rooms that you couldn't get into? Have you been able to sustain yourself quite well with your own efforts? Does that mean a separation would be the best for your pocket and your bottom line and your mental health? Or is it a matter of digging in deeper and regaining your patience and waiting out this downturn that we find ourselves in? So that's my advice to all of you. If you're looking for an agent, brilliant, do it. But don't think that the industry is closed to you without one. If you have an agent, brilliant, keep them. But if you too decide that actually now is not the time, they're not staying, they're reducing their client list, any of the above, do not take it to heart if you end up separating. And if you're in that halfway space where, yes, I've got an agent and yes, they're useful sometimes, but I'm also useful sometimes, which track should I take? Either carry on that dual track or let them go and carry on doing your self-sustaining work. That's my advice to all writers in terms of the, do I get an agent? Do I need an agent? What happens if I let go of my agent? That's it. I hope that was helpful.